So welcome to ASM to ARM migration. So my name is K Singh. I'm going to be talking with you about ASM to ARM migration. Just with a quick show of hands, how many of you folks have classic infrastructure today as well? Okay, cool. So you're in the right place. It's a great time to ask questions. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of how the process works and how it works without downtime. So when you look at our current stack on ARM, so ARM was introduced about 3 or 4 years ago. So in that time, we've added a lot of features to IaaS. So this is just a quick list of all the features that have been added to ARM. And ARM represents the majority of our investment these days. So you'll see a lot of new features that are ARM only. So if you are in one of these buckets that you might want to use these features, so then this ASM to ARM migration is really important for you because it is a platform-supported migration, and it allows you to take your classic infrastructure to the new stack without any downtime. Now, and we're going to see how that works. Quick show of hands, does one of these features appeal to you? Anybody heard of one of these features and thinking about using it? Okay, so a few. Cool. So before we look at migration, it's important to understand what changes with the migration and the new stack. So in the old stack, you folks should be familiar with this model. You have a cloud service, you have a storage account. Cloud service is an implicit load balancer. It can have a public IP on it, or you could also have a public IP on the VM. And if you know from the classic stack, you have a virtual network configuration, which is basically an XML file, and that is part of the cloud service configuration. What we have done in the new stack is we've broken all this down into its individual components. So now what you can do is you can work with a VNet independently of the cloud service configuration. You can work with the load balancer independently of the VNet. You can work with a public IP independently of everything else. And the way everything works here is there's a reference from one resource to another resource. So this is how it all ties together. So if you remember in the old stack, you had to download an XML file for the VNet and then update the subnets and then send that file back, which was a very inefficient way of doing things. So everything has an API in the new model, and you can just call that API directly to make updates to the configuration. So this is the control plane. So you see the difference in the classic stack, and you see the difference in the new stack. What I want you to remember is this is the control plane. Now, in the next, so let me kick off a demo of how this works, and then I will talk about the behind the scenes of this. So here, what I have is a standard resource group, and here I have a VM. And what I'll do is I'll just SSH into this Ubuntu VM to this virtual IP address. And what I'll do is I'll just start a ping session just to kind of, we'll come back to it, we'll migrate this VM, so this all should be running. Okay, so switching back to the VNet. So if you look at that resource group, I want to migrate this VNet. Now, a quick tip, when you're migrating VNets that are created in the portal, they're named slightly differently when you create them from the current Azure portal. So in the PowerShell, if you run this command, get Azure VNet site, you'll get a name of all the VNets. So what you'll see is like the name of the VNet is slightly different from what's shown in portal. So that's a quick tip that sometimes folks forget. So now what I want to do is now I want to run validation on that VNet. So validation is a quick check of the metadata of that VNet in the classic stack. So what this does is VNet, basically it will send you these validation messages. So what's happening here is it's gone and validated this deployment. It says it's eligible for migration. It's gone and validated that another deployment. It says it's eligible for migration. And the VNet as a whole is eligible for migration. So if you see this happy step, which means you can proceed to the next step. And if there are errors, usually what you'll see is something like this. Migration is not allowed because of some issue that you need to fix before you can proceed. So now that we have our success, we'll move on to the next step called prepare. So I will kick off prepare. And the commands are pretty simple. It's called move Azure Virtual Network, -prepare, and the VNet name. Okay, so let's talk about what is happening in the back end now. So, as I talked about, we have four steps of migration. We have the validate phase that we just looked at. Then we have the prepare phase. Now, key thing to remember is validate and prepare are both, they do not change your existing environment. So they're safe operations to run. And after prepare is completed, and I will show you once the prepare completes, we'll switch back to the demo. What you'll see is equivalent of the resource model I showed you. So all those new resources will be created on the ARM side, and you'll be able to go into Portal and take a look at those. And once that check is complete, what you can do is you can do a commit to commit the migration, or you can abort to basically move back from prepare. Now, I told you about the control plane before, and I showed you the difference in the control plane. Now, one key thing to remember is that only the control plane changes during the migration. The data plane, which is our hypervisor and the hardware layer, and the VMs that are running in the data centers, they do not change. So that's how this no downtime migration works. So what we're doing is in prepare, we're creating new resources in ARM in the control plane. So I showed you that diagram of the old stack versus the new stack, all those resources. So now what Azure is doing is creating these compute resources, networking resources, storage resources in the new layer, in the new ARM stack. Now, so one key thing to remember is your management, the control plane is locked once prepare completes. This is to make sure that configuration of the environment does not change between prepare and a commit, so it's consistent. But what that also means is that your data plane operations are available. A great example is SSH or RDP connections. So if I switch back to that ping I ran, you can see that even though the VM is undergoing prepare, and I see prepare has completed here. So you see this prepare complete. You can see the VM is still up and running. So there's no change to the VM. So if you were serving traffic from this VM, that would not be affected. It continues to run. So what we've done is in prepare, we've created the new resources, and now there's just a pointer to the same VM that's running on the physical hardware from two different stacks. And in commit, what will happen is we will delete your old stack, the pointer from the old resources, and you'll just have a pointer from the new resources. So after prepare, if we go into Portal, so this was my old resource group. Now if I refresh my list of resource groups here, what I should see is a new resource group with the name of the VNet -migrated. So if I click and view that, so I will see my VNet that's been migrated, and it's in this resource group. So I can go into that details of that VNet, and I can take a look at everything to make sure the address space is the same, all the NICs that are connected are there. And what I can also do now is, if I go back to the resource groups, I should see one -migrated group for the deployment. So you'll have one new resource group per cloud service. So what now I'm seeing here is you have a VM that we migrated, and you also have the public IP and the load balancer and all the NICs for it. So this is called our prepare is done, and now you're basically checking your environment to make sure it's exactly as expected in the new stack. Now after this, you have the option of aborting or committing the migration. So if I wanted to abort at this point, I would use the same commandlet with the -abort switch, and I will be back to my old environment, and nothing would have changed. Now, if I wanted to commit, I just need to run the same commandlet with the -commit. Oh, I need to run this. OK, so commit is running. Let's switch back to the presentation. So now commit is running, it's going to delete this old environment. What you're going to left with is the new environment. So what's supported in migration? So your VMs, cloud services, availability sets, all of those are supported. All the networking resource, VNets, reserved IPs, UDRs, network security groups, all of those are supported. Express route circuits are also supported as well. One key thing to note is if you have an express route circuit that is still on the classic stack, you need to migrate that to the ARM stack first before you can begin this migration. And it's a no downtime operation as well. Nothing changes there as well. So once you're done with the compute and networking migration, the next step is to do the storage migration. And there's no downtime involved in that as well. So you can migrate your storage accounts and the blobs, and they just convert over to the new storage, V2 storage accounts. So here's a simple illustration of how it looks. I just showed you in the portal. You have the classic stack. After prepare, you'll see the equivalent resources. You'll see the NICs as a separate resource, load balancer, a VNet as a separate resource. So everything is its own ARM resource, and you can go and view the details of that. Now, we've done a lot of enterprise migration. So what we have learned from those is the migration really breaks down into these 4 different phases. So you have the first phase, which is the plan. The best thing to do in this phase is to read the documentation, because whenever we learn about a new issue from a customer, we usually go and update that documentation. So what we've done is we've taken a lot of the gotchas that trip up customers on their migration, and we brought them back to the plan phase, so you can view that environment quickly and take a look at that and solve it. Now, the next one, what we've seen is we had enterprise migration, and we had a CSA who worked with them. What he did was he wrote a script which can replicate the customer's environment exactly one-to-one to a completely different subscription. And what that allowed that customer to do was run that migration in a separate environment, solve all the issues without affecting their production environment. So it gave them a kind of peace of mind knowing that if they solved all this issue in a different subscription, a different environment, they will not run into any migration issues on the day like scheduled for downtime. So what they've done is to replicate the environment, solve the issues, and then beyond migration, so basically once you do the actual migration, it is up to you to adopt all those ARM features. Go back to the original thesis you started with, as like what ARM features are important to me and what I want to consume once I get to the new stack. So that replication kit is available at this link. As I talked about, it basically dumps out all the ASM data of your existing environment. I believe it dumps it out in an Excel file, and then it has a script that can create the environment one-to-one in a new subscription. So it is really easy to kind of proceed with migration once you take a look at this script. Now, what that script also does is if you have a big migration, for example, like 1,000 VM VNet trying to migrate. Now, we've seen prepare for those takes like around an hour, and in that 1 hour, you want to know where migration is. So that migration status script is really helpful for knowing which VMs have been prepared, which VMs are still undergoing prepare, and where exactly is the migration. And I want to call out that there's no official support because it's a community contributed project. And once you download this presentation, this is going to be available here. Here's our list of all the basically documentation, so that you can go and read. So we keep on updating these as we see more issues from customers or if there are any gotchas. So these are a great set of resources to go and take a look at. So quickly to switch back to the actual migration we were doing. So we see that our commit has completed. So I see that the ping is still running. So the VM never went down. It is completely, the SSH connection never dropped. And if I come back to my the old resource group, ignite mg mig rg, I believe I will see there's no more resource group for that, so that's deleted. So it looks like the resource group is still there, but it should not have any, it just has the storage account. So all the compute and the networking resources have been migrated over. I'm left with the storage account. The next step for me would be to migrate this storage account over to ARM as well. Okay, let's switch back. And let's take questions. Yes, sir.
How long can you leave it in that state before aborting?
There's no requirement to abort or committing immediately. We've seen customers forget about it and come back after months. That's another reason we take a lock on the configuration, because within like many months, if you forget, a lot can happen to the change. So that's one of the reasons we take a lock, so that environment does not change between prepare and commit. But you can come back anytime you're happy. Yes.
What if the validation is not supported?
Eh,
What issues that I can fix in validation? Like, how can I fix them? For example, I know an issue called layers of extension,
mhm.
BG info extension is VM.
Got it.
I have two layers, BG info. What other extensions should look here?
Got it. So the question was, what kind of issues and how to solve the issues in validation phase, especially around extensions like BG Info, and what other extensions can cause issues. So BG Info usually does not, we throw a warning for BG Info and we drop it. So for BG Info, solving that is pretty simple. You can just leave it as is and we'll drop it in the migration. Now the other extensions that can cause issues are especially the security center extension. Now if you have a security center policy on your subscription, what that does is it installs an agent on each one of your VMs. And we've seen that extension is not migratable, so what we tell customers is turn off the security policy before you're doing migration, and it should uninstall the extension automatically. Now if that does not happen, then you have to uninstall it manually. The other issue that we've seen is with the backup extension. Now the workaround for that is to uninstall the backup extension, stop the backup, and migrate the VMs over, and then restart the backup. Yes, the VM snapshot extension. Yep. Yes, sir. Got it. So the question was domain services, how do you migrate that? So the domain services team is working on a seamless migration for their infrastructure. So what they're going to do is they're going to migrate your domain controllers to the new ARM stack, and once that happens, they will integrate with this migration, so that blocker will go away as well. So the question is, when is that going to be available? So I was told that end of this year is what they were looking at, some sort of a preview. But if you connect with me offline, we can follow up with them as well. Yes, sir, you had a question.
Yeah, going through like two-phase here. We're moving from Azure and the open to our subscription.
Mm-hmm.
As part of that, I want to move from our present to our resources. Do you recommend wholesale moving? We're fairly small, so like 40 VMs,
Mm-hmm.
appropriate amount of storage. So just try to run the whole thing first and see what throws out as an error. Or do you recommend a certain order?
Got it. So the question was, what is the recommended approach for, like, if you have a large VM, like, do you move all the VMs or do you move, like, start small, right? So the real recommendation is, like, if you're moving a VNet, then all the VMs inside that VNet move at the same time. And that's how it provides no downtime, because all the VMs are moving at the same time. There's no downtime for any of the VMs. Now, if you have VMs that are not in a VNet, which means they're in a cloud service that are not in a VNet, so there everything in a cloud service moves at the same time. But there is downtime involved in that scenario as well. But we see that was like the old scenario where folks not deploying into a VNet were like dev test VMs and non-prod VMs. But anybody who's serious about security deployed VMs in a VNet. Yes. 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 All right. Any other questions? Sorry? The question is, will NSG rules will be migrated? Yes, NSG rules migrate as well. Yep. Any other questions? So, any other questions? Any other common pitfalls, problems? So, one of the common things we see is like multi-availability set in a cloud service. So what you have to, so if you have like multiple availability sets and VMs that are split between availability sets in a cloud service, what you have to do is move all those over to the same availability set and then migrate that over to the new stack. Yes, sir.
Got two 5,000 shares for simple core volumes, and obviously it's tearing out blob storage.
Hmm.
Is that just a matter of just migrating the blob storage only?
So the question is, you got on-prem VMs that are using Store Simple, and you want to migrate that to where?
Blob storage that it's using right in Azure, but you're going to be tearing out.
Got it. So I'm not totally sure on the Store Simple scenario, but we can follow up with the storage team.
It's just pointing to blob storage.
Blobs, yeah, then it should just migrate over. If it's a storage account, that should just migrate over seamlessly. Yeah. Other questions? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you.